Hey everybody, it's me as always, your host Gambit896, and I'm back with another in-depth review video for you guys. Today I'm going to be reviewing Wonder Woman, Volume 1, Blood. This is written by Brian Azzarello and illustrated by Cliff Chang and Tony Atkins, and this is published by DC as part of their New 52 reboot as of September 2011, and this first trade collects the first 6 issues of the series. Initially, or historically really, I don't really, well, I've never read any comic book series as of yet in the 4 years that I've recently, been collecting comics and whatnot. I wasn't really all that interested in reading a female superhero-centric series. I don't know why, and that's not meaning to sound derogatory or offensive to, people who do read female superhero comic books. I just personally didn't really have an interest. But then, when the New 52 came out and when Wonder Woman started getting rave reviews and whatnot, and a few people in particular in the YouTube comic book community, such as Oddfellow's Thoughts, Travis and Ethan, Damien, Sleepy Reader 666, and Minutia Minute, Beardo, also, all said pretty much the same thing, that Wonder Woman was definitely worth checking out. So I thought, 2013 is a new year, might as well try new things. So I thought, yeah, so I picked up first trade of Wonder Woman. One of the big things that made me interested in this title to begin with was the whole Greek mythology aspect. As I really enjoy Greek mythology, I find it really, really interesting, and I've watched a fair few documentaries and whatnot on Greek mythology, and I've read a few fictional novels about various time periods and various characters, for lack of a better word, within Greek mythology over the years. So yeah, that was one of the big pulls to this series for me personally. So the series, the first issue opens up and we have Apollo trying to find out what the future holds for him and his family as in the gods of Olympus, on Mount Olympus. And then we cut to Hermes, who you can see in what looks to be an old war hat from World War I, actually, speaking to our main focus of this first story arc and a main secondary character of Zola, who he's trying to convinced that she needs to leave her residence or home right away, as there are assassins coming to kill her in the form of centaurs, as you can see there. And we find out the reason why Hermes has come to Zola is that she is pregnant, and she's pregnant by Zeus, the king of the gods. Here we have our first shot of an action scene involving Diana, or Wonder Woman's, unbreakable bracelets, which she's obviously, as you can see, using to deflect and essentially break that arrow. And we find out that, like I said, Zola is pregnant by Zeus. And this ultimately really, really, for lack of a better word, cheeses off Zeus's wife, Hera, as you can see in the bottom panel, just there. And I'll see if I can find you another better shot of Hera. Here you can see her being counselled, for lack of a better word, by her daughter, Strife. I'm not sure who Strife is actually meant to be, whether or not she's a a character that the writer Brian Azzarello has included in the pantheon of Greek gods. The Greek gods in this newly rebooted Wonder Woman series. But I really like the, like I said, the aspect of the Greek mythology, and I really like the voice that Brian Azzarello has for all of these various characters within the Greek mythology aspect of the book. And I'll get on to why and some examples as to why a bit later. Here we have our first glimpse of Wonder Woman's mother, who is the queen of the Amazons, Hippolyta. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hang on. Hippoplyta. However you choose to pronounce that. So you should, if you watched any one of my videos, you should know I'm terrible with pronouncing names. We do have some nods and winks to the original origin of Wonder Woman from back in the I'm not sure when Wonder Woman was first started. Actually, I'll have to do a bit of research on that and put an annotation in as to when Wonder Woman, as in the series, when it originally started in DC's older 52 universe, when I finish this video. But anyway, the original origin was that Wonder Woman was a child that was made out of clay by her mother, and essentially that's how Wonder Woman came to be. And she was also an Amazon warrior, which I think is quite cool that Brian Azzarello plays this kind of respect to the old origin of Wonder Woman by still keeping some of it intact, but also putting his own spin on it at the same time. Cliff Chang's artwork in this is just fantastic. I really like the way in which he draws Strife when she actually comes to Earth, for lack of a better word, from Olympus, and as you can see, she's depicted as this giant who can then she can essentially shrink down to size and become essentially a human-sized version of herself. But then we find out from Strife that Wonder Woman is actually another child of Zeus, and that's the spin that Brian Azzarello puts on the on this new origin for Wonder Woman under the New 52. And so we find out the backstory of how Hippolyta and Zeus, the king of the gods, actually met, and I'll show you one of the examples of the flashback scene, as you can see there. And we I still, like I said just now, I really enjoy how Brian Azzarello, he must either be a big fan of Greek mythology or he must have researched this quite a bit, because he has a really great voice for Zeus in particular, or as an example, because Zeus in traditional Greek mythology, if you don't know, is not only the king of the gods and king of Mount Olympus and wielder of the thunderbolt, but also he is, suffices to say, he's something of a ladies' man. And Hera, who, as I said, is Zeus's wife and queen of the gods, is something of a very, well, essentially she's characterized in Greek mythology as not only the queen of the gods and the goddess of women, but also a very hurt and very vengeful character within the confines of Greek mythology as a result of Zeus's infidelity, because Strife actually makes a point of this in the dialogue that's given to her by Brian Azzarello. She says, or she refers to Zeus's children within this Earth, or within this Wonder Woman universe, as walking, talking reminders of, like I said, Zeus's infidelity, which means he keeps running about with other women, which, as I said, really, suffices to say, really annoys Hera. I'll just show you another really good example of some of the artwork by Cliff Chang. I'm going to try something a little bit different, actually. I'm going to try and put this double page spread sort of in line with the camera and see if you can see it a bit better, as opposed to what I used to do with double page spreads, where I do this and then this. So hopefully you guys can see the full extent of this double page spread. But if not, here's this page, and then here's this page. I just thought I'd do a little bit of experimenting with my with the range of my camera lens and just see what well, essentially what works best, actually. Also, like I said, there's a great example in here that while Hera is essentially, like I said, while she is a god, she says to Hippolyta, when she comes to take her revenge for her part in Zeus's infidelity, and essentially bringing another of Zeus's children in the form of Diana or Wonder Woman into the world, she says, and the queen of the gods, the goddess of women, ultimately yet a woman. So she's admitting that even she, you know, even though she's this superpowered or higher level being, you might say, she's also essentially a woman with emotion, essentially. And I really like the fact that Brian Azzarello puts that humanizing touch to all of these Greek gods in this Wonder Woman series. Here we have the end result of Hera's vengeance upon Hippolyta, as you can see there. I'm guessing she's been turned to, yeah, I think she's turned to stone there, actually. Either stone or bronze, I'm not really sure. But ultimately, Hippolyta has tragically met her end, unfortunately, for her part in another of Zeus's escapades, for lack of a better word. As I said, I really like the writing in this by Brian Azzarello, and the artwork by Tony Atkins and Cliff Chang. Cliff Chang and Tony Atkins is really good on both sides. There's a power play storyline going on with the gods of Olympus, as Zeus has seamlessly disappeared and the throne of Olympus lies empty. So as you can see, here's our first double page spread of our first introduction to Poseidon, the god of the seas in Greek mythology, who's one of the key power players in this first story arc. And we also have the introduction of Cerberus, the guard dog of the underworld, and his master, Hades, Lord of the Underworld, as you can see in the bottom panel. We're also introduced to this mysterious character of Lennox. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Lennox. And he's quite a mysterious character, and we find out that through a flashback he was involved in World War II, and he's been around for nearly 80 years. And we find out what his gift is, being, I'm guessing, part human, part god, or demigod. I'm not going to give away the ending, because I want you guys to obviously go out and read this for yourselves. Let me just see if I can show you another. Nope, if I show you any more artwork, it's going to spoil the ending, I think. Overall, I really enjoyed this, and I hadn't had any exposure to Wonder Woman up until this point. So if there's anybody out there who's a fan of Brian Azzarello from his work on his Vertigo series 100 Bullets, or Joker with artist Lee Bermejo. So if you're a fan of Brian Azzarello, if you're a fan of the artwork by Cliff Chang and Tony Atkins, or if you want to pick up something different under DC's New 52 rebooted universe, I definitely think that Wonder Woman is definitely a series you should check out. Or if you're like me and you're just interested in the Greek mythology aspect while also learning about a new or a newer version of an old DC 52 universe character, then like I said, I definitely recommend you check out Wonder Woman. I'll just show you one of my favourite, if not my personal favourite, original series cover. Oops. There we are. This is my personal favourite original series cover, as you can see there. Just quickly, from a personal preference perspective, I do prefer Cliff Chang's artwork over Tony Atkins, but that's probably because Cliff Chang's artwork looks a bit more detailed. But I'm not saying that Tony Atkins is a bad artist. I do really like Tony Atkins' artwork, but like I said, just from a personal perspective, I do prefer Cliff Chang's. But yeah, that's just, like I said, that's just me. If I had to give this first volume of Wonder Woman a rating, I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. I'm really interested to see where this story goes. Yeah, that about concludes this review video, guys. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. As always, feel free to leave some comments below in the comment section. And until next time, this is Scambit896 signing off, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and just quickly, if you're new to the Dark Avenger Inc. Plus channel, please feel free to subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button down there. And yeah, see you guys next time. Take care.